Welcome to the Hoop Threads podcast. Here with another prospect spotlight, player that unfortunately torched a local team this past weekend. Will Brunson. He plays for Rutgers Prep 2028, 6'5" guard slash wing. Also plays with the New York Rens in AAU. Will, how we feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling good.
Cool. All right, man. Well, let's get right into it. First part is the warm up, just kind of some fun questions to deal with first, and then we'll get into the real stuff. So, what's your favorite sports drink?
Favorite sports drink, probably Gatorade.
Okay.
Uh, I usually drink that a lot. I tried Powerade. Powerade is good too, but something that I just always get is Gatorade.
Okay. PS5, Xbox, or PC?
PlayStation 5.
Okay. What are you playing on that?
I'm not gonna lie, I have every single game. I play NHL, MLB, anything that's competing. So if it's an open world game where like you fight other bosses, then that too, I play anything.
Okay. Best basketball shoe and best non-hooping shoe.
Best basketball shoe, something that probably Kobe 8s. It's
Okay.
got good cushion. It's affordable. Like, it came out with a lot of pairs, so almost everybody could get a pair, and they got good grip. It's probably the best Kobe in my opinion.
Okay. What about
And
non-hoop shoe?
the best non-hooping shoe for me. Well, for school, we have to wear all black shoes, so I usually just go with some Nike Vomero, something like some running sneakers that I can work out in and play in. But if for something like style, I like the Jordan 11s.
Okay. Gotcha. Give me your favorite meal. So entree, appetizer, drink, dessert, all that.
My favorite meal is got to be steak. That's what I've been having to eat more just to put on some weight. So definitely got to be steak. My favorite drink, all I do is just drink water now. I gotta stay hydrated. So I drink water. I probably put an ivy in there. Strawberry ivy is the best one. And then for dessert, I like I don't really eat dessert anymore. But when I was younger, I used to like ice cream. I at least like ice cream a lot. Ice cream sandwiches.
What side are you liking the most?
Which side?
Yeah.
Definitely mac and cheese or some French fries.
Okay.
It's my
Gotcha.
favorite. Anytime I go out, I always go to Mr. Reliable, just some burger and fries. So,
What temperature are you getting that steak cooked at?
medium well.
Okay. All right. Not too
Uh,
bad. Not too bad.
yeah.
All right. What person have you met that you were in awe of?
And all, there's been a lot of people. I can't even lie. Probably the most personal is probably like Jared McCain, because like you watch him on YouTube and like he just like when you see him in real life, it's just crazy. So, and then somebody that I just met recently was probably Stephon Castle.
Hmm.
Because he's just so tall and he's like strong and big, so he just looks crazy. So,
Cool. Have you gotten to work out with any NBA players yet?
um, yes, I worked out in California and I got to work out with a couple NBA players. So,
Cool.
like Stephon Castle and other guys who are in the summer league and that are just making their way up into the league.
Cool. Tell me about your first dunk.
Oh, my first dunk, it was actually a good one. I'm not gonna lie. It was like pretty sure it was my some. It was like seventh grade summer.
Okay.
And it took me a while to get a dunk after that, but it was like I think it was going into seventh grade or it might have been after seventh grade, but it was on a fast break and I was off of 1 foot and the person was like right behind me and then he jumped and I jumped. It was with a local AU team. It's called Garden State Warriors. We're at Sportica. So it was definitely cool though.
Okay. Gotcha. How tall were you when you did that?
I had to be about like 5'11",
Oh,
six
wow.
foot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've grown quite a bit since then. All right, cool. All right, man. So how did you get started in the game? Did your family play?
Yeah, no, my dad played obviously, and my mom, she liked that my dad played, so she really wanted me to start playing. So she put the ball in my hands, to be honest. But I always wanted to play. Once I learned that my dad played, she would always put my dad's old jerseys on me and stuff and everything. So it was really my mom, though. She pushed for it a lot. She really wanted me to play basketball.
Who do you model your game after?
Hold on, I'm well, to be honest, like as of right now, I really like Shay.
Hmm. Hmm.
I like a couple players though. Like I even have like a list in my phone with just a bunch of players I like to watch on YouTube. Like I like the way like LaMelo Ball moves at his height. Then I also like obviously I like Kyrie for his handle. So then yeah, I like the young guys that are coming up too. So
What do you watch specifically about guards that play your position when you're watching them play? Are you watching how they come off the screens, when they shoot versus when they drive, decision making? What are you looking for?
Definitely. Like since I gotten older, like before I used to just watch it for the highlights. Like my favorite player before was like Russell Westbrook because I just loved dunking. I couldn't dunk. But now that I'm more entwined with the game, I like watching pace. So that's why I like Shea because I see the way his pace out coming off of screens.
Hmm.
Kyrie when he makes a counter, just players like that. I really like watching them.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said your dad played. I'm sure if he's anything like my dad, he's coaching you up quite a bit. What is he on
Yes.
you? What is he on you the most about? And then have you when was the first time you beat him in ones? If you have, maybe you haven't.
I never got to play my dad on 1v1s like ever since like when I was a little kid, but not anymore. I never got to play my dad at once. But the thing that he's probably on me most about is staying in motion. Like if you hear somebody screaming will move, then you know it's him. So yeah, and definitely it's being in motion because he wants me to go for those offensive rebounds. So it's definitely that in motion, and he doesn't want me like standing in the corner. He hates that. Like standing in the corner is his biggest pet peeve. So
Mm, gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna turn it over to you for a second and let you kind of self-scout. So tell the
mhm.
audience about some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses.
Okay. So I feel like some of my strengths right now is probably like the way that I pass, like when knowing when to pass, like when I touch the paint, like when somebody steps up, then where to drop it off. I always make sure I keep my head up when I'm dribbling. And some things that I probably need to work on is getting stronger. But I've been working on that a lot, and I've definitely seen the progression. I'm able to get to my spots better ever since I've been working out. So yeah, and I definitely want to be able to shoot off the dribble better. Because
Mm,
then once I can really knock down shots off the dribble, then the defense never knows what I'm doing. So
mm.
that's definitely something.
That's pretty fair. I think it's funny, hearing about your dad saying, stay in motion because I actually think you do a pretty good job of moving off the ball.
Thank you.
Um,
I try to because I don't want to hear him yelling at me the whole game. So
that makes sense. I
yeah,
mean, I think what makes you stand out right now is kind of like your skill level at your size, but I really like that you're able to get yours within the flow of the game, if that makes sense, as far as, you're not ball stopping, you're not, chucking up a lot of shots, but you
and
you are constantly attacking the defense and
yeah,
when trying to get to the rim. I think earning some more free throw attempts just to kind of get yourself within rhythm will kind of help, offensively to make things a bit more balanced. Like you said, it'll make you harder to guard too.
yes.
So how do you prepare for each game on the day of? Do you have a routine?
No, I don't have a routine to be honest. I just like to go to sleep early,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I usually wake up early for the game. I'm like a very excited kid, so anytime I like to get all my jersey and my stuff prepped out for the game, and I always like if it's a 2 o'clock game, I'll probably still wake up at 8 a.m. So.
Okay. Are you the type to listen to music that gets you hyped up, or do you listen to stuff that bring you a little bit more zen and kind of make you calm before the
No,
game?
I like hype music. I tried like something like I tried Zen before. I don't know. It just like I feel like I start the game off too slow if I listen to Zen music. I like turn up music. But my mom, she actually got mad at me before because I used to foul a lot when I was younger. She was like, "You need to stop listening to that hype music because it just gets you all jumpy." So I tried listening to Zen music, but it just wasn't for me. And now that I play more composed, I feel like I can listen to the hype music without going out there just jumping around and fouling and stuff. So
Fun story, man. I
yeah,
wasn't able to watch my little brother's championship game, but I had a friend that was in the crowd, and so that friend was FaceTiming, their dad to show them the game, but she stopped real quick so that she could record, the action. And she
yeah.
she took 1 4-second clip, and it was my brother fouling someone. So,
Yeah, that sounds like me when I was younger, probably.
so after the game, I showed my brother, and he's like, "I had 2 fouls in the entire game. How did you get one of them?" I was
And that's the opposite of me. You'll probably get a couple clips of me. I was always in foul trouble when I was younger.
That's funny. All right, so you're heading into your sophomore year here. Talk about some differences in the game at the high school level and what you've had to adjust to.
Definitely the physicality. Like once you were there, so you could see like the players are like starting to like lean on me when I start getting high, and like whenever I start to shoot. So they're definitely like grabbing me whenever I'm dribbling, trying to just just bump me off my spots. To be honest, so that's why I've been working on my body because the physicality is definitely a thing. And when I was a freshman, it was probably the speed too.
Hmm.
Like you think the game's going so fast, but when you have the ball in your hands, it's really up to you on slowing the game down while staying in the flow of the game. So it was something that I had to work on.
Is there a difference in role between your AAU team and your high school team?
This year, no.
Okay.
I'm the same. I got the same, like, I'm expected of the same things on AAU as the same things on my high school team. So
Okay. Talk about, choosing, Rutgers Prep. What led you to end up there?
they're one of the highest academic schools in New Jersey. So that's what I really liked. I liked it was a big campus. It's all the like when I was on my visit, all the teachers were very nice and they were very like explaining everything that was on the board and stuff. So yeah, it was just all that type of stuff.
Mama don't play about them books, huh?
Nah, it's really my dad though, because
Okay.
yeah, he went to Duke, so he was always a 4.0 student when he was in high school, so
Okay.
he's always expecting me to get great grades.
No, that's good expectations, man. Talk about choosing your AAU organization. There's a lot to choose from in New York and New Jersey, but
Yep.
you ended up with the Rens. How'd you end up there?
Well, when I was in seventh grade, I was still coming up. I was still like just a hard working player. I wasn't really like I've never been like really a star player to be honest until like this year. So that's another reason like why it seems like I don't just chuck up shots. I just play in the flow because that's like all I'm used to be honest. Just finding the flow of the game and then playing in the flow. So that's something that definitely came to I wanted to play on the highest level at all. Like, I always wanted to compete. So when the Rens came and we were in made hoops and marquee hoops, I definitely wasn't playing that. And the way that Coach Oz found me was I was at hoop group camp and his son was there too. And his son's like I think it might be like 2 years younger than me. And I was just walking in the hallway to like my dorm or something, and his son just jumped and just tapped my head, like just playing around like a little kid. Because he was probably like fourth or fifth grade then. So then yeah. And then Coach Oz and then he was like, "You want to come play for my dad's AAU team?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And then his dad and then it turned out to be the New York Renaissance. And I was like, "Oh wow, like." Because I remember before I had moved to New Jersey, I used to like look up like all those EYBL games and stuff. So I knew who they were. And I was like, dang, like if I could ever play for a team like that would be great. So then Coach Oz took a chance on me. And ever since then, he's always had me in all the right tournaments, got me in the international tournaments and everything. So he's really looked out for me.
Where'd you live before Jersey?
I lived in Minnesota for like two years. And then before that, I lived in Atlanta.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Talk about a time that you faced adversity and some of the tools that you used to navigate through that time period.
There's been a couple times, 'cause that's just a part of the game, to be honest. So definitely when I was in like seventh grade, eighth grade, those are some times because I was like younger than everybody else, and everybody else is like they were a reclass, they were older than me and stronger than me. So it was definitely like having to play with pace. So I couldn't rush my shots because whenever I rush my shots, then you don't get your hands on the ball right, your feet aren't set. So it's just like all that. I always kept doing my push-ups and stuff, and I always just worked, to be honest. And then I had to realize that everything can't be 100%. Sometimes you have to slow the game down yourself. You have to take your time on shots. Everything has to be detailed. So,
Tell me about your gym schedule. What parts of your game do you feel like you've been working on the most since, and then what do you feel like you've added the most since the end of, this last season?
something that I've definitely been working on the most is like with my trainer Eric, we work on a lot of mid ranges, and then with my coach Dane, he's like a lot of conditioning threes. So it'll be like three spots, 25 makes each spot, but no break. And then at the end, he'll make me like rep it out with like five in a row or something like that. Because I really wanted to. I told my coach Dane, I was like, I really want to get better at 3-point shooting. Because once I can master my 3-point shooting, well, not master at this age, but once I can get this a lot better then people kind of start stepping up on me. When they start stepping up on me, then I can drive, then I can stop, find my spot for a mid range or drive to the rim. And it was just everything like that. So
What have you learned about, the importance of self-talk during a bad game? Kind of what have you learned about saying to yourself and keeping your mental right?
that's a big thing right there. Self-talk is a big thing because once you have a little bit of fear in you, then you could throw your whole game off. So definitely I just tell myself like you just gotta go out here and compete because it's like scholarships on the table. So If you're not competing at all times, then it's either you don't want a scholarship and you don't want to win. So you have to go out here, even if somebody's stronger than you and better than you, got to find other ways to play the game. Setting off ball screens, going to rebound, even if you can't score, just everything of that. So I always just tell myself like you got to be the best player out there. Like even if you're not playing good, you have to play hard at all times. Because when you play hard, then eventually your shots start to fall, and then you'll start playing good. To be honest.
Tell me a part of your game that you feel like kind of flies under the radar or is a bit undervalued.
Um, I think maybe my defense, to be honest.
Hmm.
I think like my coach Dane, he's always clowning me on my defense, but I mean, I tell him all the time, I'm like, dog, like the only reason why I'm on the Rens is because I was a defensive player at first. Like I always took pride in defense, I always played hard. So, yeah, I've definitely been working on it though with my strength trainer. Oh, we've been working on just sliding and everything for conditioning and everything because I wanted to be able to guard the best player while also playing at my best. So.
Hmm. So we're talking about physical spots now. So top of the key, corner, dunker spot in the paint, stuff like that. What parts of the floor do you feel the most comfortable right now and the least comfortable?
To be honest. We work on every single spot, so I don't think I feel the least comfortable shooting anywhere, to be honest. Well, because when I first started playing basketball, I always shot from the corner. Like if you ever saw me shoot any mid-range, it was from the corner. And now I feel like once my shoulders are squared up around the wing or anywhere, then I feel like I can make a shot. So like definitely the middle, the wings, or the elbows, and I definitely feel like I can knock that down almost every single time.
Okay. So rank these three in order of importance to you. So game-winning assists, game-winning basket, game-winning defensive stop.
To be honest, it would definitely go game winning. Like this might sound cliche just because, but definitely a game winning stop because like the college coaches love to see that. Like you play defense in the crunch time, you're guarding the best player because obviously they're gonna get the best player the ball. And then if you are the best player, then they're gonna double you. So then game winning assists would have to be second because they're gonna double you. So it's better to pass it and your teammate hits a shot. I mean, that shows that you had trust in your teammate, belief in your teammate, and then game win bucket would have to be last, even though that's the coolest moment probably.
Gotcha. Okay. So what are some things that you value, as, Will Brunson, both as a player and as, a man off the floor. So, honesty, being straight up with people, leading by example, vocal leadership, accountability. What are some things that really matter to you?
Probably honesty. My mom's always preached that like you always have to be honest with people and you always have to take constructive criticism. So yeah, it was definitely honesty is like my main thing. And everybody that I'm surrounded with is always honest with me. So, if I don't play good, then my mom's gonna let me know, my coach is gonna let me know, somebody's gonna let me know. So I
Okay.
definitely value that.
Tell me about your interests and hobbies off the basketball court. Is there any hidden talents that you have? You play the trombone or something?
No, my mom has always wanted me to play like an instrument or something, but I've always told her like, Mom, I don't have time for that. Like I gotta go hoop. I don't really have any interest to be honest. I like to read sometimes
Okay.
because like I've always wanted to find other stuff than basketball because at one point in my life, I used to like have no interest in anything but basketball. Like, I couldn't watch anything regular on the TV if it wasn't basketball highlights or a basketball game. So then this year I was like, I have to find other hobbies than just basketball, just something fun to do when it's not basketball. So it was definitely reading because I don't like sitting on my video game a lot, but I do like playing video games. 'Cause I like playing competitive games, I like competing. So. Yes, reading and playing my video games probably the most.
So if basketball didn't work out for you, God forbid your career ended tomorrow, what would your plan be for the next, 30 years?
For the next 30 years, it'll probably be I probably want to be still involved in basketball. So I want to be a coach or something.
Hmm.
I like coaching, to be honest.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Give me some of your goals for this season, both like individual and the team goals.
For high school or AU?
All the above.
Okay. Definitely for AAU we have one more session, so definitely to make Peach Jam and I would definitely want to win Peach Jam. Because that's just like winning's the most important at everything, to be honest.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to win Peach Jam. And then for high school, I want to win every single championship I want to make every single championship, win every single championship, sectional championship, county championship, and I definitely want to win the state championship this year.
Hmm. Okay, cool. If someone gifted you 100 grand right now, how would you spend it?
I'm not gonna lie, if I was gifted 100 grand, if it was just up to me, like my mom didn't help me or my dad didn't help me, I'd probably buy a whole bunch of basketball sneakers because I love basketball sneakers. But then I'm smart enough to know that I would put some money into savings or stocks because my dad works at a bank, so he
Okay.
would definitely tell me how to put it into some stocks and which stocks too, so I can make more money over time.
There
But
you
I love basketball sneakers, so.
go. Sounds good. What has been your happiest moment on a basketball court?
Now this one, this is my favorite moment of like all time. Eighth grade, I went out to play with like a team that I always watched on YouTube. It's called Austin Select. It
Mhm.
was like my favorite team. I always wanted to play with them when I was younger, and I was like, man, this is just like they just look so like elite out there. And I got a call. I went out to a camp in Texas, and they said, "Do you want to come play with us during eighth grade?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And then so eighth grade summer, we went down to Miami and we played in Bond on the Beach and we won. I played with a great player. His name was Jaleel Smith, Art, and another kid named RJ, and then another kid named Pierce, and I can't remember everybody else because we only had like six people.
Mhm.
So we went down there and we ended up winning. So that was my favorite moment, And I played really good in both games. Like the game before the championship, we were down like I think we were down like 20-5 or something. And we were coming back, and then I hit three threes in a row, like three transition threes in a row. So that was definitely like probably my favorite moment ever.
So because I'm selfish, I'm going to make this, about my area in the DMV a little bit. But what sets the DMV apart from other areas, in the games that you played against them for either high school or AAU? And then the second part of that question is going to be what sets apart, Jersey basketball from other hotbeds?
So for the DMV, like after playing against like a DMV team on Saturday, everybody's like really scrappy. Like anytime I try to drive and like stop, you can't just shake them because they'll like grab on your jersey or something. They'll be sticking to you every single time. They want to get all in your face and everything.
Hmm.
So that's what I think really sets apart the DMV. They're all dogs and they all like to play defense. They all want to get after it. So
Hmm. Okay.
and then for Jersey, it's basically the same thing. Everybody's like really skilled down here, so they got a lot of shake to them. Like you know what I mean? Like everybody wants to shake. So that's definitely something about Jersey. But everybody, something that I know because from our school is they want to play fast. Like they want to get out the net and they want to go score. So that's
Hmm.
something that I definitely could see.
That makes sense. Well, that brings us to our last question, man. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Last question is, what is your why? Why do you spend so much time, working on your craft? Why do you make so many sacrifices, to play basketball and to work on your craft? What makes it so important to you? What pushes you? What is your why?
My why is probably to make the NBA because it's almost like it's a real life job. So I can benefit off of it by making money and making enough money to live how I want to live and however I choose to live. So definitely being able to provide, I can provide for my family. Like my mom's definitely my why because she just has so much like hopes for me and
Mhm.
she's always praying for me and everything. And she's the one who put the basketball in my hand. So I don't really like want to let her down to be honest. So that's why I do it.
Power of a praying mama, man. That's good stuff.
Yep.
All right, Will Brunson, really appreciate the time. Looking forward to watching you play the next 3 years.
Sir, thank you.